All right. Episode of Politics and Movies where we examine whatever political readings, existence, happenings, possible intentional or unintentional politics you could possibly find in any movie. And today I'm your host, Mike, and we got friends. Today our friend is GS. Say a few words, GS.
Well, I'm on the more imaginary side, but don't let that stop you from reflexive vitriol when I speak the truth.
Of course not. And today our movie is The Long Kiss Goodnight. So this should be interesting.
Yeah,
For
pucker up.
starters, pucker up. Let's say a few words about the movie to begin with. This was I'm gonna read straight from Wikipedia. Fuck off if you're upset about that. Uh, this is a 1996 American action thriller film, co-produced and directed by Rennie Harlan, produced by Shane Black, and screenplay written by Shane Black. It stars Gina Davis, Samuel L. Jackson, a bunch of others. That fucking guy who was in a couple episodes of Boston Legal. We love him.
Wait, what guy?
Craig Bierko. He was the bad guy.
I did not recognize him from Boston Legal, and I've rewatched that like 3 times. I recognized the guy who played Daedalus, though. He was the guard in the Green Mile.
Yeah, he was also in he was the captain in Titanic.
I haven't seen Titanic, so I
Oh,
don't watch
really?
gay movies, gay liberal movies.
I don't know if it's that, but this is a political podcast, so you can say whatever you like.
Yeah. I mean, famously, James Cameron is very, left-leaning and very into free love, and like all billionaires.
I wouldn't say that.
How
I
many
mean,
billionaires do you know? Come on.
I know Elon Musk because he posts his entire personality onto Twitter or X, as they call it now.
Well, fair.
And, oh, and with a magnificent score by Alan Silvestri, we love him. Um, but this has nothing to do with that. The movie, of course, is about Samantha Kane, a school teacher in a small town who discovers that she is a like a secret agent that's been suppressed by this amnesia for like 7 or 8 years, something like that.
Wait.
And
Allow me to summarize it better. It's like if the Bourne Identity was fun instead of being up its own ass.
yes, it's exactly that. It's a Shane Black movie, let's be real. And yeah, Samuel L. Jackson plays the plucky sidekick, and he's great. I love him. We love him. Um, but there's a lot of politics that we can get into about this movie. Spoilers, if you haven't seen the movie, please fucking see the movie before listening to this podcast, because we're gonna get into it. Um, so basically, she turns out to be like a secret agent that's been like honed and conditioned to be this killing machine, and she's been living as a housewife for the last 8 years. And yeah, I mean, there's a definite reading to that. I mean, there's a we could say the military industrial complex. We could say the Manchurian candidate kind of thing. I mean, what do you think about that, GS?
Well, I think there's a distinction to be made between the movie referencing real life events without editorialization or judgment, and the politics that are present in the screenplay. To me, this was an extremely apolitical movie that referenced some real world things as a basis or a platform to spin a fun action yarn with some references to the real world that would make it plausible or recognizable, uh, but only just enough to provide a framework for something fun and pretty lighthearted that didn't really have too much of a message to it. Not too heavy-handed in any way. It didn't say that the government training assassins and the government being corrupt or anything like that was you know bad.
And no, I wouldn't say that it was like intentionally treading in that area, but it could have like, like it definitely drew from that real world sort of arena. Like this is something that's actually happened. It's sort of like I'm not sure if you're explicitly familiar with the trope. Have you ever been on TV tropes
No, never.
website?
Yes.
Never? Okay, okay. There's one that's called Beethoven Was an Alien Spy, where it takes real world happenings and puts them into movies and then sort of like editorializes, as you said. And this movie definitely does that to an extent, especially when the David Morse character who you referenced earlier says like, "Oh, you remember that the bombing in the Twin Towers in '93 and how it was actually a it was a CIA plot and it unintentionally uh calls to modern audiences the whole 9/11 was a
Yeah,
you
nine
know,
11 was an inside joke.
inside job. Yeah. Yeah, like that whole thing. And it's like, like, of course, that wasn't intentional, but the reading is there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Jet fuel can't melt steel dreams. Thank God the World Trade Center's gone, so the CIA has to get a little more creative now. I
And,
think
what do you think?
I think they were being held back by having a greatest hit,
I think the
domestically.
greatest hit was the drug trade.
Oh baby, I'll do anything for another hit.
Oh, but anyway, I thought that was interesting, and another thing
See,
I thought was
is acknowledging the government's false flag operations more left leaning or right leaning?
I'd say in this modern climate, I'd say honestly, I don't fucking know anymore. Let's be real. I'd say it's a little bit of both, because they both fucking do it now. Used to be left leaning, and then 2016 happened and it was right leaning, and then 2020 happened and it was both, and now it's both. So
Well,
what?
we can go back to 9/11 with that. I think as we can with most things, like genuinely, it's like Hunter S. Thompson said, "Party's over." Um, but there was the whole, can't criticize the leadership in wartime. That's unpatriotic. That's whatever. And criticism is any sort of awareness at all of what's actually happening.
Right, and that's where it would, I think, be left leaning.
Yeah.
Because the left doesn't give a fuck about what's appropriate during wartime because fuck the war, like that's just where they are. Um,
Yeah, they want us to get colonized by the Soviets. They want us to be
I mean, I wouldn't
a
say that.
bunch
I would
of
say
pacifists.
that leftists
Make love, not
would
war.
say that.
Make tea, not bombs. And then they'll line you up against a wall and shoot you. That's what happens, kids.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That's why it's
The
important to
left,
have a well-funded military and a big cock. I pray every day for both.
Yeah.
God bless
And
America.
there are many tankies that would be right there in with them, so, if you really wanna get into that.
Well, me, I'm something
Uh
of an enlightened centrist, beyond your petty paradigms of left and right.
Yeah. So, how do you feel about the idea that Samantha is conditioned by the patriarchy to act as a housewife, when in reality she's a trained government assassin, and she's actually suppressing those conditionings to support the patriarchy?
She seemed happy to me. Like Samuel L. Jackson, she stopped hating herself for a second and was able to be an effective parent and a caring partner and didn't seem troubled by her role in all that, you know?
Yeah,
She
but
was
now that
happy being a teacher and a housewife and a mom, and to say that it's wrong to be happy with, that, which, does not sound like a bad life, and to live in a, nice house with a white picket fence. It's back when the American dream was still alive. It's important to remember that this movie is somewhat atavistic in that
yeah,
sense. It did feel very nostalgic. It is a film from the before times.
absolutely. And yeah, I do think there's definitely a glimpse of that, of this is a more ideal time. And
Yeah, a time when you can have like no memory, no money, no nothing, and like build a life and become a teacher, and everything just sort of works out. Like that's part of the great fiction in the movie. Like ignoring all the like cartoon physics and the explosions and the whatever. Like that's
the
has
the
Shane Black ever tried to get a job as a teacher? No, he does understand that they're underpaid though, and even were in '96. So good on him for that.
yeah, and he does love writing Christmas movies, as we know.
Well, is it a Christmas movie or is Christmas just there as a backdrop?
I mean, you could say that about Lethal Weapon, you could say that about Iron Man 3. He does love having Christmas as the setting for his movies.
Well, you could also say that about Die Hard. I mean, that's one of the great contentions in cinema. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie, or
Right.
is it merely a movie that takes place at Christmas? Arguments can be made.
Yeah, and like all great things, I'd say it's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Yeah, there's a spectrum between the Die Hard and Christmas Story.
And and yeah, I would say that like you were saying, that she had a good life while she was suppressing her actual instincts and her training and pretending to be this happy
Well,
uh
she wasn't suppressing them. She forgot them. She was,
she forgot them.
unburdened from them.
Right.
Because famously, elite government assassins are well-adjusted people.
Right. And it's been noted that like most like government agents in real life, FBI, CIA, the three-letter acronym, whatever have you, um they tend to not have the greatest home lives because they're working so much. And they tend to suppress that and be workaholics,
Well,
so
it's okay to be a workaholic. It's okay for that to be your calling. Like the fact that they feel obligated to also try and have a family is perhaps the issue. Like
right.
I think we should normalize just having a passion and pursuing that to the exclusion of other things. Like you don't need to have a family that you neglect in order to be a well-rounded person. Let a person make their decision, and not inflict emotional distance on people who care about them.
Yeah, but sometimes people like to try to tread that line and try to like do both things or be both things or be more than they actually can be. They try to take on more than they can chew.
Exactly. Women should choose between a career and being a mother.
Why not men?
I agree. Well, because men can just, sow seed and then fuck off, right? They don't have the nurturing instinct. The man is supposed to be like the hunter, right? The woman is the nurturer. Man doesn't have a womb or breasts, right? I mean, some of them do, but
Some of them do.
and some of them will. I pray for both every day.
Yeah, I don't
God
know.
bless America.
I think a balance can be made. Um,
Yeah, yeah, maybe yes to the tits, but no to the womb.
that's not what I meant.
Oh, my bad. Yes to the womb, no to
What?
the tits.
Yeah, yeah. Or what have you. Whatever configuration makes you happy. Let's be real. Um, so what do you think about the villain in this movie? What does the villain represent in this movie?
Okay, well, which one? Because we've kind of got three. Initially, we've got Daedalus, who's the arms dealer and is a bit sadistic. We've got the 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 flippant twink. What's his name? Uh, he's also sadistic, and he seems to get a bit more personal gratification out of it rather than just money. And then there's the government guy who is he feels that he is not a total ogre. You know, he's just been put into a difficult position. He feels by certain policies. He's a victim of bureaucracy, like all of us, and therefore is the most relatable character in the movie. So the first guy, Daedalus, I mean, we don't really know too much about him. We know how he pees,
Yeah,
but profit seems to be his primary motive, and he's getting that bag. Power to him. He's got a very strong short king energy.
right.
I don't know. Profit motive is common to you know all the Lord's children's.
Yeah,
I don't really read a Hebrew avarice into any of their characters,
no.
so that's not among the readings.
No, I think the strongest motivation of any of them is revenge, and that's probably the one you were describing as a twink.
I know he was like sassy and flippant and a little like I don't know. Uh, he rolls his eyes like a twink, you know. And he delivers some of his lines like Jeff Goldblum, in a sort of. Ah, I'm looking for adjectives. Give me some adjectives.
All right. Well, I mean, flippant is a good one, but capricious, non-committal.
Like if this took place in ancient Rome, he would have had helicatamites,
Okay. Um,
and that's
I
how they'd show you he's a bad guy.
okay. Yeah, it's always queer coded, isn't it? Like like okay, he's definitely had sex with the protagonist, but he is also queer coded in that way because he's a Hollywood villain, and Hollywood villains tend to be queer coded.
Not really. Not really. I
I
don't. I
mean,
mean, it is a trope. It's fair to say it's a
it's
trope, but tend to be is, I think, a little much. I mean, like, how many James Bond villains can you name that have any queer coding? Like, there's the one who hit him in the balls a bunch of times. But he might have
But
just been,
no,
playing gay chicken to make Bond uncomfortable, which I thought was, a really funny play on the, normally hyper masculine James Bond character who, drinks and fucks and save the day, uh,
yeah.
which is essentially his whole character. But I don't know, Hans Gruber.
Is he queer coded?
No, that's my point.
Okay,
Like
well, he's not, but, I don't know, well, let's not get into Disney. I was gonna say Ursula, but of course,
Disney's gay now.
Disney's always been gay, let's be real.
No, I,
Uh,
I, I meant that in the derogatory sense.
okay.
Just to
And I meant
clarify.
it in I meant it in the sense of being dismissive because it's not really a thing, because it's always been a thing, kinda thing.
I'm afraid you'll have to
Uh,
take that word salad back to Tumblr and leave it there.
okay, alright.
Call me.
Um, Tommy. I'm saying, look at the fucking, queen from Snow White. She was gay as fuck. She was a whole-on lesbian, let's be real. She was a fucking, I'm not even gonna say the word, but you know what word I'm thinking of.
I'm trying to remember, but I don't watch 1940s animated features that often.
1937, I wanna say.
Close enough.
Anyway, back to this movie,
There are no
yeah,
gays
like
in this movie. It passes my test. It's
it
safe for the
passes your
children.
anti-pictorial test.
Yeah. Although Sam Jackson wouldn't hit it when it was like right there, waving itself in his face. So he's probably gay.
Mm, I
And
wouldn't
he
say
worked with
that.
a woman who was comfortable being unclothed around him, and they were sort of working friends, like work friends, and that was
Only
good dynamic. And
yeah,
and so I mean
only
there
when
is
she
that
was
scene where he nearly drives off the road because of the titties, but I think that's just Shane Black's self-insert moment.
yeah, and
Like
I
he
think
is
that was
among the horny screenwriters of all time.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Then there's a lot of horniness in this movie, to be sure, and I'd say that's because of, the character though, Hennessy's, self-restraint though. He really didn't, consider, um I mean, Gina Davis's character when she was in the Charlie mode, I don't think he really considered her as a potential sexual partner. I think he considered her as a just a what's the word?
Well, regardless of the word, I think I disagree. He's established to be a like Cumbrian lowlife, right? That's his character
Oh,
as presented to us. And it
I
started redeeming him a little prematurely, I think, in terms of the character arc in a Shane Black movie, where people start off being sort of mm, not the best people in terms of normal values, but then they
yeah.
they they learn and they grow and they redeem themselves. So he had his uh, triumphant heroic thing at the end. Well, I guess he did early on too. Like throughout the movie, he's doing the right thing. Like he didn't turn around after she nearly shot him with the gun by accident, and there was that, and then there was all the stuff at the end with him heroically trying to get to the kid like an idiot and getting shot like an idiot. But he took lessons, so this is advanced idiocy.
So I've heard it argued recently that all films have a thesis and an antithesis. What do you think is the thesis of this film?
What if badass action girl shoot lots of bad guy, but also mother? This is the elevator pitch. There is no theme. What is
That's
this
funny
movie
though.
about? It's about badass action and explosions.
Oh,
It's
there's
escapism. It's a popcorn
it,
flick. It doesn't need a theme.
okay. Okay. I mean, that's definitely an argument. I'm here for it, in fact. Um, but I might posit that it's sort of like, what does it really mean to live a double life? And what if woke up one day and you really firmly believed that your trauma was gone and you were this entirely new person that was happy, and you didn't really all of your baggage just melted away and it no longer existed. Would you be happy, or would your baggage catch up to you?
Put me in the Matrix. I just want a good steak.
Okay.
At the end of the day, yeah. Oh, it's simulated happiness. It's not real. It's not, who you are. Well, I don't know. It's close enough. We round up in this household. I mean, they say that your baggage informs who you are because it's like your life experiences and whatever. And if you take that away, then you're someone else. But what's wrong with that? That it suggests that there's no intrinsic self, that precedes the traumas of life. Life is pain, as they say, and but most people are at their best with less pain going on.
That's fair. And it could easily be argued that, yeah, like you said earlier, she was happier when she forgot about all that shit, and she just moved on and lived as a housewife. But was she actually being true to herself? Was Do you think maybe she could have been happier as an assassin and fucking people up and uh blowing up uh Craig Bierko with a fucking gas tanker?
Not unless she's a clinical sociopath or psychopath.
And maybe she
That's my
is.
actual answer. No, she's not. We saw her being you know, an effective parent and emotionally present,
Mhm.
and pretty psychologically healthy from all appearances. In a good relationship, being an effective parent, and you know, no signs of any outstanding issues.
Yeah, but that does raise a good point. Like there's an aspect of generational trauma there where when Charlie was bleeding through, when she was trying to teach her daughter how to ice skate, and she was like, don't you fall down again. You're not going to fall down again. And it's like, like, was that an aspect of her, like letting that get to her, you know?
Well, that's her training, one presumes, because we don't know much about who Charlie was before. She'd undergone extensive training. And in that sort of training, that the trope is they break you down and build you back up so you can be, whatever sort of tool they need you to be.
Right.
And what you're left with isn't a well-rounded, healthy person. Typically, an effective tool, maybe, but not something that has an easy time reintegrating into society. So applications of such a tool are limited, and parenthood is not one of them. Healthy relationships is not one of them. Being a functional member of society, as we understand it, is not really one of them.
Right.
It's a sacrifice they make based on you know some worldview, some value assessment, some desperation, maybe, and some character flaws or neuroses. But she was sort of, you could make the reading that she was kind of groomed for the position because after her father died, it was her father's friend who took her in and sort of raised her. And, there's like a grooming coded interpretation to be made there. He turned her into his tool to gratify his ends, which was, in this case, espionage and great violence. So,
Yeah,
was
and
she
I
happy
do
after
think
accomplishing a job well done? Probably. I mean, you can condition a dog to bite a man's ghoulies off and then give him a little treat, and the dog's going to be happy. But a
right.
person's a slightly more complex creature than that. Well, some of them anyway.
I mean, I'd argue all of them, even the dumbest human. But who is the dumbest human, really?
It me.
Oh, all right. I
I'm
think
just a
that's
tool
all
of the
I have.
patriarchy myself.
We're all tools of the patriarchy, even the men.
Not just the
Um,
men, but the women and the children. I hate patriarchy. It's coarse and rough and gets everywhere.
yeah,
What a mess.
it all comes back to the prequels. All right. Yes. Unless you had anything else to say, I was going to wrap up.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think there's really too much that's political in this movie, and honestly, that was kind of refreshing because, well, that's something that you really only get from films from the before times, because now everything has a lens increasingly, and by
Yeah.
before times specifically, I mean pre 9/11.
Right. Yeah, and it's funny because they mention the pre 9/11 which was the 93 uh Twin Towers bombings, which I mentioned before, but I think it's interesting to bring it up,
Never forget.
Never forgetty. Um all
Mamma
right.
mia.
Mamma mia. Yeah, this was about the 96 movie The Long Kiss Goodnight. The movie made $96 million against a budget of 65 million, and it's a cult classic. We love it. It was written by Shane Black and directed by Rennie Harlan. A very visually interesting film. I love the orange and the classic orange and blue color grading. Do you have anything to say about that?
Well, I thought it was an uncommonly pretty film, and I don't know if that's because of the film stock or whatever other decisions were made, but it didn't need to look as nice as it did for what it was trying to do. I will say it also had some fantastic model work and maybe one of the best explosions I've ever seen in a movie. But the first explosion in it was pretty embarrassing and like unnecessarily so. When they're in the library or whatever it is, and the grenade explodes, and there's just this cartoon wall of fire coming at them, and they escape out the window. Like that was pretty goofy. Like
I mean,
in an unflattering way. Like there are cartoon physics and cartoon action throughout the film, but that one in particular did make me laugh. Later on, it's just reveling in the glory of big explosions, and they're quite nicely blown out with a lot of white, and they're real explosions and
right.
captured well, and very good explosions. I reiterate, but the actual like colors of the film and the texture were good. I miss films looking like this. You don't get films that have this sort of visual quality to them too much these days. Now that everything's digital, it's not just a film grain thing; it's a color choice thing too. And some people might say that does not age well in the film. That it's a bit of an artifact from a bygone era, but I would say more civilized color grading from, to finish the quote, not clumsy and random like digital color grading.
Right. No, I totally get that, and I do think it's very well done. Rennie Harlan does a great job here.
And nowhere else. Okay, to be fair, when like a lot of people shit on Die Hard 2, but when I found out it was the same guy who directed that, I thought, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I think the explosions in Die Hard 2 are great. I think the explosions in Cliffhanger are great. I think those are great action movies. And there's and Deep Blue Sea even that came out a few years later.
Of
Um,
course, not all of his films are equally
Classic.
explosive.
Yeah.
I haven't seen most of them because I've heard that most of them aren't that good.
Yeah. That's true. And it can be argued like maybe that's his fault, maybe it's not his fault. And like I don't think at the end of the day it doesn't super matter. He did Cutthroat Island, one of the worst movies of all time, but yeah, he didn't write it. He didn't write the script. He was just, he was a director and a producer on it. So like was it his fault? To an extent, sure, you know, but like was it entirely his fault? No.
Well, it's hard to say in a film how much of what is whose fault. A lot of
Right.
times,
It's a team effort.
yeah. And whether he got final cut or not on any of these things is also, you know, as David Lynch says, never make a film if you don't have final cut.
We love David Lynch.
Oh yes, he's a font of wisdom.
Yes. And stop watching movies on your fucking phone.
Wisdom, straight facts.
All right. This has been Politics and Movies on the Long Kiss Goodnight. Hope you all had a good time and hope you kiss your loved ones goodnight tonight.
Yeah, pucker up.
Pucker up, Buttercup.